Hello and welcome to today's show. Today we are talking about agentic AI meets search using OpenSearch and MCP. Seema, how are you doing?
Hi, Brian. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining me today. So,
Yeah.
one of the reasons I have you here on the show for people is because you had an excellent session at OpenSearchCon North America, and I really wanted to kind of dive into some of what you guys did. So, the whole idea behind MCP, we hear MCP a lot, we hear AI a lot. Can you tell me a little bit about why MCP is important in the context of just working with different technologies, but then also with OpenSearch specifically?
Right. So initially, like last 2, 3 years, we have heard a lot about LLMs, and then came in agentic AI, and then like there are so many LLM models and so many agentic AI for each tool. Like GitHub has its own, Google has its own, and Open AI has its own. So to combine everything, it's so much easier, and it just makes sense to have an MCP to combine all the power that we can have with the agentic AI into one thing. So that's how we are using it, and you can just have it running up and running in your local system as well. You can have integrated with the multiple AWS services or OpenSearch specifically. We can have it up and running in just minimum 10 seconds, and it's so much cooler. And then you can communicate with your data in natural language. That I think it's most convenient for new users and new team members. It's very useful to them because it's very because some organizations have very large infrastructure. New people can't understand it better, so I think it's easier so that we can communicate with MCP and just talk it through and understand the whole architecture. And MCP is making it very easy for us now.
So, what is MCP?
It's a model context protocol. So it's just like in the talk, we mentioned that it's kind of like a USB-C port, which combines all the capabilities of all your underneath it's all LLM models. It just combines them into a single place so that you can communicate to multiple models at once.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was really interesting as I was working with MCP for a different project, I was working on one recently with MCP and ClickHouse,
Mhm.
was that I didn't have to be a ClickHouse expert to
Yeah.
extract data and business insights. While using
Yes.
MCP, I could ask it, like you said, natural language queries. So
Mhm.
I could say, what is the stats on a certain thing over the last 24 hours?
Yeah.
And it goes and it knows what queries to run against the infrastructure, the technology, and it returns those insights for me. So I could use that technically without have ever
Mhm.
touching or logging into ClickHouse itself and
Yeah.
still gain value. So I can see that MCP is really valuable for people that are not already experts, and even for the people that are experts, it
Yeah.
gives them the ability to quickly get more insight out of the technology.
Yeah, that's very true. And with agentic AI, you can actually write the code. And I've seen like it, if I mean, it's just normal agentic AI process. So if it doesn't find the result that you are looking for, it just keeps on retrying. And it's like, okay, let me think this. Okay, this command is not correct. Let me rethink it and make it a script. So it's really cool to see that capability and using that as well. So it is just empowering all the engineers out there.
I love it. So tell me a little bit about your demo. Let's break this down. So if I were to set the context here, if I remember the diagram correctly, you had OpenSearch running, you
Mhm.
had some data in there, you had MCP connected, and the thing that I thought was really interesting as well is you had a different front end to
Yeah.
communicate with OpenSearch. So maybe start there and tell me why you had a different front end and what the benefit is of doing that.
Yeah. So the normal approach that OpenSearch documentation also is providing is we can use cursor or Claude desktop UI. We can use any of that. But we thought that it would be just cool to show that we have a front end, and that actually is not just a front end that you can just chat with. It's not just that, but we had different sections of the UI. So we had the first section. I think I didn't show that in demo. I don't remember. But there was a first section where we can see the cluster health for OpenSearch, if it's healthy, if all of the indices are present or not. And one of the cool features was that we can choose the context we want to communicate with. So I think in organizations we can have maybe 100 plus indices, and then it's really hard to just get down to the result because it will take longer for the MCP. So we thought that we will give two options. Either we can choose everything. So there is one scenario where you want to just explore all of your cluster, all of the indices, and maybe there is a correlation, or just explore one of the index. So it's easier and it's faster to get the results. So we had that option as well. And other was like directly communicating through the MCP, and we were using OpenAI for that in the backend.
So then, as we talk about this, so you had your front end, and that was really neat because you're basically putting guardrails for anyone. You give someone a location to come to communicate with your OpenSearch cluster, and then you technically have some guardrails where you're not giving them admin privileges into the cluster itself. You're giving them just a website where they can chat back and forth about the OpenSearch cluster. So one of the problems that then comes in is cost and tokens, and the number of tokens that are being sent back and forth. What did you find from that? Were you able to minimize the number of tokens being used and really make this cost effective?
Yeah. So okay, so the cost is really a main thing, and it was just our personal project, so we didn't want to spend any money because we are running our local MCP, right? So we thought we explored a lot of options, but the thing I did was I went to OpenAI. Like I think we used ChatGPT 4, 4.x, and then the default value, there are some charges, I think $5-10, whatever usage that you have, right? So we thought, why even do that, right? So there is I just made a new account, and for that they give some tokens free of cost. But since our model, we were just trying to test it out and how it's responding. So we wanted to focus on that testing, and it can take longer time and it can consume a lot of tokens as well. So we added the code. I think from 3 million tokens, we reduced it to 60 tokens so that it just doesn't generate random stuff that we don't want in the results. So we did that using just, I think, just adding the Python script. Yeah, and adding all the indices, so that reduced a lot, because otherwise what AI does is it sometimes just give a lot of text that we don't even want. So I think reducing that and getting the right results is really important, and that's why we chose to reduce the tokens. And yeah, and that did not cost at all. So yeah, it's for personal project, yes.
So you said it went from 3 million down to 60 or 60,000?
60K.
60K, 60K, got it. And then the Python script, is that basically just giving some parameters and telling it, cut out extra words?
Yeah, it's just a simple Python script, yes.
Okay. So basically with this, you're giving it some context and rules around how to respond, and doing that alone saved you 200 or 2.9 million tokens.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Wow. So if we were to take the lessons you learned from doing this and preparing your presentation and your demo for OpenSearchCon, what are some key takeaways that you would give other businesses and people that want to try and use agentic AI with OpenSearch?
Okay. I would say, okay, first thing is we don't really want to use MCP everywhere, right? It has to be a specific use case. If you really want to see the help that you can get from MCP, definitely go ahead. But it just doesn't make sense every time applying it. But I would like to say that for MCP, standalone MCP is really great to use for OpenSearch. And if you are already on OpenSearch 3.x, definitely you can use the SSC and HTTP protocol that has all the support. And cost, like AI comes with a cost, so you need to refine and fine tune your models as well. And the best thing was, I tried with a lot of models. So initially, like while I was testing it out, I used Claude 4 first. That gives amazing results, but that comes with a cost. So we switched to OpenAI, and that's okay. I mean, if you want to spend, then definitely Claude 4 was giving results. Like we asked, like if there are any 5xx or 4xx errors in my application, it gave the exact count and what was the root cause. So it was amazing to see that, but the same results were not seen in OpenAI GPT-4. So it depends which model you are using. MCP will help you, but I think the underneath is the LLM model that you're going to use. So make sure to test that out first. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other words of wisdom that you want to share with the community here?
Um, I'm not sure like what else I can share. I mean, OpenSearch is a great project. I think just this year I explored it. Like last year, I just heard about it that there is something called OpenSearch and it's a vector database because all the AI things were booming up. And this year I got to try a lot of features, not just MCP. MCP came in recently, but before that, I also presented at other OpenSearch conferences. So it's a really great tool actually for anomaly detection, machine learning, and KNN search, semantic search. It's a great tool. It's a power pack. Everything is in just one tool. So it's really great. And we can connect open telemetry as well to OpenSearch. So it's great. You can get all the observability in just one place. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining me. For everyone that's still watching us, thank you for being here. Hit subscribe, hit like, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.